Okay, so Sam was at the party with Kylie. They were at the party. They were going back and forth to the car. They came back and they were going to go home. And Kylie said to Sam, "How much are you okay to drive?" Kylie said, "No, I'm not going to drive yet. I want to stay longer." So they went back to the party and stayed for a few minutes longer, like a half an hour. That's when Sam found a friend that was completely sober and drove home with that person. But there was a person that stayed there. They were camping out there. If they get too drunk, they do camp out there. That is something we do in this town. They were trying to figure out how they were going to get home. They were all talking to each other to try to figure out what they were going to say to their parents because they wanted to stay longer at the party. Some of them wanted to stay later. Some of them wanted to spend the night. It's known fact that in the town that if they get, all of their parents knew where they were and have said to them if they get too drunk to stay there. That's what we do in this town. It's been known for 20 years. So they've stayed out there many times. What I was just trying to say is that they were going back and forth on who was going to stay later. They thought that Kylie stayed the night out there, but at 8 o'clock in the morning, when people went to go leave, her car was then gone. So and the last time that Sam saw her was at 12:30 when they texted each other and they said they were coming home. That she was at the party still, and everybody was like kind of just whining, starting to leave. So the only thing that they don't know is who saw her leave. They can't find out who saw her leave. I did find out there was something that's like happened at the party, not bad on anything else, but it hasn't been very much talked about because I asked this question and it just kind of shot from there. So if someone knows what happened later in the party, nothing bad, and just something that happened later in the party that was a small thing and it started then, that would be helpful to know if she was where she was and who she left with after that. I don't know. I guess I could say there's a fire that was started, like a bonfire that was started later in the evening, but when a lot of the people were there at the beginning of the party, there was no fire. And when I mentioned the fire, they said it started out later. So I said, did anybody see Kylie after the fire started when they were all sitting around? They said no. So they need to know who left before the fire started at the place than before. And I'm not trying to save Sam Bass. I'm not trying to make the problem. I'm trying to get the truth out. No, they don't know where I'm nervous. That's why I don't have very much service. I only can say exactly what I have time to say before I have to call back again. No one is trying to save anybody Sam behind. I'm not trying to save Sam behind. We just want to find Kylie. The party was going out of control. Yes, there were people from the Auburn, from the Bay Area, all the way to Reno and to Sacramento, the whole basin. We have short-term rentals up here that people come up and stay. If you have a short-term rental in Tahoe, call your neighbors, have them check your security cameras, have them check your garages. The car is not at, but where the reason. The car is not at, but where the reason. In the water, it's not. They've looked in the water. They've had divers. They've had everywhere else. And there's only one way in and one way out of the party. Most of the kids stayed overnight. Some of them left. The girls and guys do this all the time. They tell their parents, "You're 16 years old. You get messed up, and then you stay where you land, and you get home the next morning." That's what we're trained to do. That's how we know how to do it. So no one is trying to.
I've known Sam for approximately 5 years, and she was good friends with my daughter. We've taken her camping. We've hung out with her before. She's been around my family. I know her very well. It's a small town that we live in, and so everybody does know everybody. A lot of these kids all know each other, but this is the problem, is that there's too many people that showed up. It was actually a boring party, and there was nothing going on, just drinking and lots of things that were happening at the party. There were shady characters there, yes. There was a few people that they cannot identify. They know that they were there. They know it possibly from Kings Beach. And she told me that it was a tall gentleman that had a goat mustache, but no one can say they don't know who he was. He was there and they don't know who he was. There are people out there that they did not know who was. So the best bet is that someone said they were going to take Kylie home and did not take Kylie home. I did see today, which I haven't talked to Sam today, that the last sighting was at 1:30. So I'm going to find out what that means and find out what I can find out later today. I'm obviously in bad service. So we'll talk to Sam today. Her phone kept dying. They kept going back and forth to charge their phones to be able to take videos, to be able to take pictures, this was a senior farewell goodbye. This was for all the seniors going off to college. That's why there were so many upperclassmen there, because a lot of our kids hang out with older classmen and younger classmen. So yes, the lady that talked prior is right. They come here, and there was 100 kids that were approximately supposed to show up, and it got to be about 200 kids. Someone left at 8 o'clock in the morning after they cleaned up the party, and they know who was there. They did not see Kylie's cars there in the morning, but they saw it at 12:30, and Sam saw her when I asked Sam directly, I said, where were you when you left with the person that she left with, where was Kylie? And she said she was in the middle of the crowd, just all walking around. This is also something that is being said that I asked them. Was everybody at the party, or were they hanging around in their cars? Many people hang around and listen to their music in their cars, and so they go back and forth between the fire and the area where the party is to go back and charge their phones and back and forth because we don't have service and our phones die.
So the answer is yes, there were people there that were not supposed to be there. These kids that are here, it's a small town. We all know each other and everybody knows their families. But we have a lot of people that come here to visit on short-term rental. We have lots of kids that have come here have weekend homes. We have lots of kids that just are not English speaking. So there's always that barrier as well, which is half our town. So we have to figure out who was there, how they were there, how they found out about it. But I talked to Sam and I know, and I trust Sam because she has nothing to hide at this point. She's had total anonymity. That's what they're telling the kids, is that if you come in and say anything, you're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to have any problems, and everybody just wants to find her and bring her home. Now, to get in and out of the campground, it's a one-way in and one-way out, and it's very hard to get in. So Teslas can't get in, so there's no camera on Teslas, or there's no Teslas that could get in. It's only the videos that I haven't seen any of the videos from the party. I asked and she does have a boyfriend. I asked them if that went out of their way to spend more time with Kylie. She said no. Everybody was just kind of walking around. There was no one that stood out as having too much fun. I'm going to say some stuff, and then that way I can clarify what they're saying. He is right. In the backwoods on the B-oca side and the reservoirs and all those are murky because they have mud on the bottom, and when you stand on them, the mud kind of makes it dirty. The other side of our lakes can be very clean, and because they're running water. So it depends on what spotter you're in Tahoe to be able to see if it's clear or not. Most kids, the reason why there were so many kids there is what I heard is because we're upperclassmen, and a lot of the kids in our area all know each other from different schools, and everybody has older brothers and sisters. And since we're such a small community, that they go up from being seniors to freshmen, and they know that 4 years of everybody. Right. So that's why it's not completely unheard of to have people now being in the vicinity of the party that could have been bigger. So, and we have a lot of weekend people that come up that have second homes and everything else. And so sometimes they bring other people up as well. So the biggest problem, what we need to find out, and this is where I don't know any more information after this, is at what point did her car leave, and did she go with someone? That's really what we need to know. They're obviously not telling some information that we do know, or they do know, and there is some stuff being retracted, I guess, because they don't want it to be publicized just because. So I don't even know all that information. But yes, it's either, and a lot of people, like she said, they don't go to Reno. They don't go to, they go down to the bay or whatever to have a good time. Lots of people thought at the beginning, and I think that most of would agree, is that when kids get in trouble like this, and they already know they're in trouble, they've already missed their curfew, they're like, well, I'm already in trouble. I might as well just have a weekend off. So I think kind of people at the beginning thought that she might just be, she was in trouble with her family, friends. She was hungover, and so she went off and did her own thing for a couple days. Everybody kind of thought she would be back on Monday. The fact that they can't find the car does lead everybody to think that it's in the water. They have dredged the water. They said that last night. They've been in the water with scuba divers. They've been in the water doing all of this stuff, and they don't think she's in.
You know what?
The reservoir.
Okay.
Prosper.
Yeah.
I think they have looked in the Prosper, and they've looked everywhere. But like they said, the woods out there are so tight and dense that it goes from being clear, like you can see for miles, and then you can't see, like when it gets dark though, you lose all your sense of reality, like your sense of boundaries. Right. You don't know what's going which way. You could be going one way and think you're going one way and then end up in an area where you know, but you go, how did I get here? Especially if you're young, confused. She does have a boyfriend. He does not know where she is. I've gone out searching a few times. The problem too is that it's such a wide base, and because service is so hard out there, is that we don't know if they kept trying to charge her phone. They've looked on Snapchats, they've looked everywhere. Her phone died. She did have a computer in her car. She did have stuff in her car. No one's seen her. She was supposed to go home. I did see today that she was seen at 1:30. I don't know that part yet. I do have Sam on my text messages, and I'm waiting to hear from her, but she's obviously doing searches today. So it kind of got slowly started because and that's why they didn't issue an Amber Alert. It's because she doesn't qualify for an Amber Alert because she's not in danger to someone or someone else. And now I hope they didn't dredge the bottom of the lake. They just went down and see what happened. No, I don't think he was.
Okay.
And she did have another friend that was her best friend that was at the party. When she got there, she left, and that's when she started hanging out with other people. All these kids know each other. They all were out there together having a good time. It was not, and when these kids go out, they go out to have fun. They go out to do what they're going to do. They aren't thinking that anything's going to happen that's bad. So these kids lie. They're 16, 17, 18 years old. Some of these kids won't tell their parents they're going to a party. And so that's why the information is coming so broken up, is because some people don't want to tell their parents they were there. And now this bad thing happened, and kids have already lied, saying something else, and now they're having to unlie to say what happened. So it's kids. You have to remember, these are kids. These are kids that are just trying to figure out life, and they're young. Some of them graduated, some of them didn't, and we just want to know. I asked Sam straight out. I said, was she on any apps? Was she on any dating sites? Would she have gone off by herself? She said no. She thought she was when she went home, everything was fine. Everything was good. There were people that did stay the whole night, so they were there. When they left the next morning, they weren't. There is some things that I don't know, and I'm trying to be as positive as I can, but it also doesn't look good.
Okay.
Is there any questions that I can ask? Because everybody's trying to say I'm hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. No, and Sam, I'm not trying to defend Sam. I'm just trying to, because I'm only getting broken up information. He's absolutely right. These are kids that are coming forward, and Sam doesn't know all the information. She obviously does it. She left. There's 200 kids there. So when everybody says, well, why is Sam the only one that's being contacted? It's because she's leading the party, or she was part of the party. She's a very big presence at these parties, so, and known very well. So therefore, it's expected for her, and they were good friends. So it's just expected for her to help out and try to find Kylie and bring her home. Kylie, I always say it wrong. Kylie and bring her home. talked to 2 people on the phone, Sam and another person that was with her last night, and they were both, one stayed all night at the party and Sam stayed till 12:30, because her curfew was at 12:30, so she had to be home by 12:30, and that's why Sam left at 12:30. They do have curfews, believe it or not, these kids do have curfews, but they all were trying to figure out what they're going to tell their parents so they could stay later and have more fun. The party didn't really turn out to be very much fun, so there was a lot of people that were there just kind of walking around, getting to know each other, and some people didn't know other people because, like I said, we have lots of second homeowners up here. They come up only for certain times. And did you see Sam leaving the party with a friend? She is the person that left when Sam left the party to go home. She was with a sober driver. Kylie texted Sam. Sam said who she was going home with and to be safe to Kylie. So they were in that was the last contact that Sam and Kylie had, was talking about that Kylie wasn't giving Sam a ride home, and that Sam had already gone home with someone else, and that Kylie was still at the party. That's the part that Sam does not know after 12:30 because she was gone. And then at 1:30, I guess she was spotted, but I have just seen that earlier today on Twitter. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. There is a sticker on the back of her car. Maybe I'll just say there is a sticker on the back of her car underneath the Honda. I'm not going to say what that is, but if you see a sticker underneath the Honda that has the same one, because maybe they took off the license plates, that's why they can't find it, and they've changed them, because so many people do have these.